We're joined by Ian Patterson, who's National Chair of Socialist Students and a member of Youth Fight for Jobs. We're here at Sussex University in Brighton, and he's going to explain a little bit about the attacks that young people are facing at the moment.
Well, young people are being attacked from every side. The students coming to Sussex and other universities up and down the country in September are going to face the trebling of tuition fees to £9,000, pricing most ordinary people out of going to university. But it's not just the tuition fee rises that young people are facing. There's cuts and privatisation going on at every campus up and down the country. But it's not just attacks at university campuses. College students are facing maybe the biggest cut and attack of all, the slashing of EMA, the grant paid to poorer students to help them through college. We've already seen a 49% drop in the number of people applying to college who previously received EMA. But all these attacks are contained in the government education white paper, trying to sell off our education, our service is to their big business friends. But what are young people getting for the thousands of pounds they're investing in their education, the thousands of pounds they're getting in debt at the end of it, when there's no jobs for young people leaving university, when graduate unemployment is as high as it is? The only work that young people generally are able to find at the moment is workfare schemes, working for your dole. So you do the hard work, the hard hours, but all you get is meagre dole payments at the end of it, driving down by bosses and the government the terms, pay and conditions of all working people.
So in 2010 we saw a mass movement of young people erupt in Britain. What role did Socialist Students and Youth Fight for Jobs play within that?
Well, we were big supporters of the huge NUS national demonstration when 52,000 students marched through the streets of London, kicking off the student and anti-cuts movement. On that demonstration, Socialist Students handed out 10,000 leaflets calling for walkouts 2 weeks later, and school, college and university students responded to the call in the thousands. In the end, 120,000 students took part in the walkouts and strikes that happened on that day. We were also key to building the 330-mile Jarrow March for Jobs, marching from Jarrow in the north east of England down to London, holding protests and demonstrations and public meetings in every town and city along the way, putting the issue, the blight of youth unemployment, right at the top of the political agenda. But the biggest show of working class strength we saw in 2011 was the strikes on the 30th of November, when we saw over 2 million public sector workers striking in defence of their pensions, and young people were the biggest supporters of that. According to the polls, 79% of young people supported those strikes, because those strikes weren't just in defence of pensions for older workers. If workers would be forced to work until they're 68, work until they drop, work until well after they want to retire, where the job's going to be for young people like ourselves leaving school, college and university. It doesn't make any sense to make older workers stay in jobs they don't want to do, denying young people the right to a decent job.
So where do you see the student campaign and the student movement going in the coming period?
Well, it's fantastic that this year the National Union of Students, the NUS, has called a national student walkout for Wednesday the 14th of March. We may have to make that strike as big as possible, linking up school, college and university students to walk out and strike again, having big demonstrations in every town and city. But even more than that, we have to link up with working class people who are organised and fighting back. And 2 weeks after that, on the 28th of March, we're going to see another coordinated public sector strike. The civil servants, teachers and lecturers striking again in defence of pensions. Their fight, their campaign to defend decent pensions and fight all the cuts isn't over. But young people have a really important role to play. We need Youth Fight for Jobs groups in every town and city, young people getting involved in winning campaigns on the issues the Jarrow Marchers marched that long way for decent jobs, to scrap tuition fees, to bring back EMA, for decent housing for young people, and to reinstate youth services. We can win on these issues, putting big pressure with mass campaigns, put big pressure on local councils and the government to say that we're not going to accept these cuts, we're not going to be a lost generation. But more than that, millions of young working class people around the world are saying if the capitalist system can't afford decent jobs and education, then we can't afford the capitalist system. We have to raise the banner of Socialist Students and other organisations and put a socialist alternative to the crisis of capitalism and a socialist alternative to the cuts forward.
Thank you, Ian. If you're interested in Socialist Students, Youth Fight for Jobs as well, please click on the link below this video.